I know many of you watching right now are sitting at your desk after another day of scrolling through cybersecurity job listings, feeling that blend of excitement and uncertainty. I get it. Excitement about the opportunities ahead, but also that persistent doubt of, will I ever actually break into cybersecurity? Well, today I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone had told me before I started this journey. Because trust me, it's never too late to shift gears, and the sooner you're ready for what is coming, the faster you will land that dream job. You've probably watched lots of videos talking about the tactical steps to break into cybersecurity, the certifications, the degrees, the technical skills, but nobody talks about the emotional journey, the struggles, the doubts, the rejection, and the persistence required to actually break into cybersecurity. I've spent years talking with hundreds of passionate people fighting for their place in this industry. I've had their frustrations, their fears, and their determination. So here's what we're going to cover today. First, the emotional realities of breaking into cybersecurity that nobody is honest about. The struggles that I've seen so many people face. Secondly, the three phases of cybersecurity disillusionment that almost everyone experiences and how you can push through them when they hit. And third, a framework for finding your authentic place in this industry. One that aligns with who you actually are, not who you think you should be. If you're struggling to break in, or you've made it but are having doubts about your path, this video is for you. Hit that subscribe button if you want the raw truth about this career journey, not just technical tutorials. So let's talk about what you're really facing, the emotional challenges that don't make it into the LinkedIn success stories. Reality number one is the imposter monster is relentless. Yes, I hear this from my students all the time. That feeling of sitting in front of a technical interview, their heart pounding, convinced you will be exposed as a fraud at any moment, or landing that first role and being surrounded by people throwing around terminology you don't understand. You're now wondering if you've made a terrible mistake. Here is what you need to hear. This feeling is not unique to you, and it doesn't mean you don't belong. I've talked to CISOs with 20 plus years of experience who still feel the same. They still feel it. The pace of change in cybersecurity means everyone is perpetually a beginner at something. That certification you just earned already becoming outdated. Yes, that technique that you just mastered, attackers are already evolving past it. So the imposter feeling isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign you are in an industry that is constantly evolving. The professionals who thrive don't overcome this feeling. They harness it, as motivation to keep learning. Let's look at reality number two. And this is that rejection cycle that is brutal that nobody is talking about. I've had so many soul-crushing stories about the cycle of applying for entry-level positions, sending out hundreds of applications, getting ghosted by recruiters, making it to the final interviews only to hear we went with someone with more experience, for a job that was advertised as entry level. It's absolutely demoralizing, and it's enough to make anyone question their worth and their choices. What I want you to understand is that this isn't a reflection of your potential or your value. It's not. It's a structural problem in the industry, and we all know a disconnect between hiring practices and the reality of the talent pipeline. The people who break through are not necessarily more qualified. They are just more persistent, more strategic, and sometimes, quite frankly, luckier in finding the right opportunity at the right time. Reality number three is the fact that the knowledge treadmill never stops. I've had countless cybersecurity experts tell me about the exhaustion of trying to keep up. You master one domain only to discover 5 more that you need to learn. You earn one certification only to be told you need 3 others. It can feel like running on a treadmill that is constantly accelerating. No matter how fast you go, you never quite catch up. Now, this is both the blessing and the curse of cybersecurity. The field rewards continuous learners, but can punish those who need stability and certainty. Now, let me tell you something I wish someone would have told you earlier. You cannot know everything, and you don't need to. The most successful security professionals are not those who know the most. They are those who know how to learn and adapt the fastest. Okay? But here is why I still encourage you to persevere. And I'm encouraging you to do that despite all of this. When you do break through, the sense of accomplishment is unlike anything else. The knowledge that your work protects people's data, privacy, and sometimes even their safety is profoundly rewarding. I've seen the transformation in people who finally land that first role, the confidence, the purpose, and yes, most importantly, the financial stability that comes with it. The struggle is real, but so is the payoff for those who push through. So, after spending almost a decade in a career, you tend to see a lot, okay? And believe me, I've seen a whole lot. One of those things I've come to realize over the years is the fact that almost everyone pursuing cybersecurity goes through 3 distinct phases of disillusionment, okay? Understanding these phases or understanding each phase can help you navigate your own journey with more self-compassion. And I mean it, self-compassion. The first phase is the entry barrier shock. Most people start excited about cybersecurity. They were probably drawn in by the promises of high salaries, job security, and meaningful work, right? There's a talent shortage, and you've had millions of unfilled jobs, right? It's true. And then reality hits you. You discover those millions of unfilled jobs somehow all require 3 to 5 years of experience. Entry-level positions ask for multiple certifications and hands-on skills that you haven't had a chance to develop yet. This exact situation is what leads to the popular question, how am I supposed to get experience when every job requires experience? Okay, but there's a way to overcome this phase. You must recognize that the traditional front door is jammed. It is. So you need to find the side entrances. If you understand, this might mean that you may need to start in adjacent IT roles that have lower barrier, right, to entry, but also provide pathways to security, or find smaller companies or non-profit where you can wear multiple hats, including security, contribute to open source security projects to build verifiable experience, and then look for newly created security teams that are still building their bench and might take a chance on you. The key is to stop banging on the same doors as everyone else and find the less obvious entry point. The second phase of disillusionment in cybersecurity is the reality to expectation gap. This hit once you've finally broken in. You land that first security role and it's not what you expected. Maybe you thought you'd be hunting sophisticated hackers, but you are mostly documenting compliance controls, right? Or maybe you envisioned solving complex puzzles, but you're spending hours clearing false positive alerts. This is when doubt creeps in. Is this all there is, right? Or did I make mistake? The way out of this is to understand that this phase is temporary, not permanent. The first 1 to 2 years in cybersecurity are about building foundational skills that might seem mundane, but they are critically important. Those who thrive see this period as an apprenticeship. It's like you are learning, okay? A necessary step to develop the judgment and context needed for more engaging work later down the line. And they find ways to automate the repetitive task, and then they gradually take on more challenging projects. After that comes phase 3, the specialization crossroads. This hit after you've established yourself and built basic competence. You look around and then you realize cybersecurity is not one career. It's dozens of potential specialties, each one requiring different skills and mindset. Now, do you go deep into technical specialization like malware analysis or penetration testing? Or do you move toward leadership? Or do you focus on a specific industry? The abundance of choices can be paralyzing. Time and time again, many beginners get stuck in generalist roles that no longer challenge them because they can't decide which path to commit to. So, to break free from here, Instead of trying to choose the perfect specialty, think about it at seasons in your career. You might spend a few years in a technical specialty, then shift to a more strategic role, then perhaps maybe to consulting. The most fulfilled security professionals I know have reinvented themselves multiple times, following their evolving interests rather than trying to plot a linear path from day one. See, the key is to make intentional choices based on what genuinely engages you, not what you think is most prestigious or lucrative. Now, the other thing I've noticed is that many of you try to force yourselves into cybersecurity roles that don't match who you are fundamentally. You think there's only one right way to be a security professional. This only leads to frustration and burnout, even if you manage to break in. Now, let me share with you a guide that has helped countless people that I've mentored. So, there are 4 primary types of security professionals. 4, okay? Each with different motivations and natural strength. Type 1 is the guardian, okay? Guardians are motivated by protection and stability. They thrive in defense-focused roles, building security environments, implementing controls, ensuring systems stay up and they're running securely, okay? Now, to know if you are in this category, the signs you should look out for is if you find satisfaction in building systems that last, you are methodical and thorough, you also hate leaving loose ends, and you take pride in prevention, okay? For long-term potential roles that will suit this strength, you can consider security architect, security engineering, or even cloud security specialist, okay? Let's look at type 2. Type 2 is what I call the detective. Detectives are motivated by curiosity and the thrill of the hunt. They excel at threat hunting, forensics, and then incident response, which is basically about following the trail of an attacker through systems. Signs this might be you are that if you're naturally curious, you love solving puzzles, or you enjoy the adrenaline of incident response, and you think like an adversary. I'm sure you can guess the roles that suit this category. We have like threat hunter, forensic analyst, incident responders, amongst others. And then the third type is the strategist, okay? Strategists are motivated by the big picture and systemic thinking. They excel at security program management, risk management, and also strategic planning. Now, to know if this is you, ask yourself, do you enjoy connecting technical details to business objectives, right? Or are you comfortable with ambiguity? Do you like working with diverse stakeholders? And do you think in terms of trade-offs and risk, right? If your answer is yes, then your long-term pursuit could be to become a security program manager or a GRC professional, security consultant, or CISO eventually, okay? The next type, which is number 4, is the educator. Educators are motivated by sharing knowledge and empowering others. They excel at security awareness, training, and building security culture. Without a doubt, you are an educator if you're a natural communicator. You enjoy translating complex concepts into simple language. You are patient with those less technical, right? And you believe the human element is critical. Perfect roles for this category include something like security awareness manager, security trainer, technical writer, and even security champion program leader. So this is what I have observed. Those who align their cybersecurity path with their natural type, they find fulfillment faster and they advance more quickly, even if that path was harder to break into initially. Meanwhile, those who force themselves into the wrong type, they struggle, even if they have the technical capability. I've worked with people who spend years trying to become penetration testers because that seemed prestigious, only to discover they were natural strategists who found much more success and satisfaction in GRC roles. And I've seen technically brilliant people miserable as security architects when they were born detectives who needed, the stimulation of incident response. So ask yourself honestly, Which type describes you? Your authentic path starts with that self-awareness. The beautiful thing about cybersecurity is that all 4 types are needed and valued. There is no one right way to become a security professional. The industry needs you, needs your authentic strength, not a forced version of what you think a security professional should be. I know we've said a lot, and if this resonates with you, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and then hit the subscribe button, okay? But we are not done yet. We're not. So from experience, I've noticed that while everyone focuses on technical skills and certifications, there are 5 human capabilities that ultimately determine who breaks into cybersecurity successfully and who thrives once they are in. These are rarely taught, but become increasingly important as you progress. Now let's look at this skill. Skill number 1 is resilience. See, breaking into cybersecurity is often a test of persistence more than anything else. Many beginners I know have shared stories of applying to 100+ jobs before landing an interview or failing certification exams multiple times. At least I did. What separates those who eventually break in from those who give up is simply resilience. The ability to hear no repeatedly without internalizing it as a reflection of your worth or potential. The most successful career changers I've worked with, they have developed specific resilience practices. They set application quotas rather than timeline goals. For example, I will apply to 10 jobs per week rather than I will get hired by June. They celebrate small wins along the way. They have support systems of peers going through the same journey, and they build identities beyond aspiring cybersecurity professional. So rejection does not crush their entire self-image. Let's move on to skill number 2, and this is strategic relationship building. See guys, let's be honest about something most how to break into cybersecurity videos won't tell you. Who you know often matters as much as what you know, especially for getting that crucial first opportunity. But I see many beginners making the same mistake, treating networking as a transactional activity where you're just trying to get a job lead. That really works. The people who successfully leverage relationships approach them differently. They focus on giving value before asking for anything. And they maintain relationships consistently, not just when they need something. They also ask thoughtful questions that demonstrate that they have done their homework, and then they follow up and show genuine appreciation for advice. See, there's this person I mentored, right? Spent 6 months helping a senior security professional with their open source project before ever asking for a job referral. When they did, that professional advocated for them eagerly because they had already proven their value. Okay? Let's look at skill number 3. This is communication across boundaries. Okay? I've watched technically capable people struggle to break in because they couldn't explain their knowledge effectively in interviews. I've seen others with less technical knowledge get hired. Why? Because they could articulate the value they would bring. Look, the most valuable security professionals can translate between different worlds. First, they can explain technical concepts to non-technical people. Okay? Secondly, they can articulate business value to technical teams. And finally, they can adapt their communication style to different audiences. Okay? This isn't about compromising or oversimplifying things. It's a crucial skill that determines whether your technical knowledge actually creates impact or not. Do you understand? Let's move on to skill number 4 now that I still have you here. And this is what I call learning agility. The single most important predictor of long-term success in cybersecurity is not intelligence or prior knowledge. It's how quickly you can learn, unlearn, and then relearn. Why? Because the field changes too rapidly for static knowledge to remain valuable for long. So the people who thrive, they develop those learning habits. What are those learning habits? First, they prioritize understanding concepts over memorizing procedures. Understand the concepts, not memorize it. Secondly, they actively seek out challenges just beyond their current abilities. And number 3, they reflect on failures and adjust their approach. They don't give up. And finally, they recognize when old knowledge is becoming obsolete and let it go. See, what I've seen among successful career changers is that they don't try to learn everything at once. They learn enough to take the next step, then learn through doing. And finally, skill number 5. Skill number 5 is what I call self-awareness and authenticity. Perhaps the most underrated skill in cybersecurity career development that I know is simply knowing yourself. You see, your strengths, your limitations, your values, and your work preferences. In my experience, I've worked with many people who struggles to break in because they are trying to become someone they are not, like introverts forcing themselves into customer-facing roles, big picture thinkers trying to focus on technical, minute, or creative individuals attempting to follow rigid procedures, and then people who value work-life balance taking roles with constant on-call duties. What I wish everyone understood is that cybersecurity needs diverse perspectives and working styles, not just one. You don't need to contort yourself to fit some imagined ideal security professional mode. You don't need that. The most successful people align their cybersecurity path with their authentic selves rather than trying to become someone else. So, what can you do going forward? What can you do going forward? Let me tell you what to do. First, identify which security professional type you naturally align with. Are you a guardian, a detective, a strategist, or an educator? This single decision will save you countless hours pursuing roles that don't match your strength. Okay? Take a whole week to research roles that fit your type. Focus specifically on positions with fewer experience requirements. Next, create just one small portfolio project that showcases your unique combination of cybersecurity interest and transferable skills from your current or previous experience. This doesn't need to be complex. Even a well-documented analysis of a recent breach from your industry can demonstrate your thinking process and communication abilities. Finally, find and join 2 communities where security professionals in your target roles where they gather, okay, whether online forums, Discord servers, or local meetups. Now, when you do, don't immediately ask for job leads. Instead, look for ways to contribute value through your existing skills. Okay? The relationships you build through genuine contribution will ultimately open more doors than code applications ever could. See, cybersecurity can be one of the most rewarding career paths available today. It offers intellectual challenge, financial security, and meaningful impact, but it is also emotionally demanding in ways few other careers are. The biggest regret I hear from security professionals is not just about technical decisions, is that they wish they are prepared better for the human dimension of this work. They wish they had understood that success in cybersecurity isn't just about what you know, it's about who you become in the process. So, ask yourself, are you ready not just to learn security skills, but to develop the emotional resilience this path requires? Are you willing to face the imposter syndrome, navigate burnout, and stand firm in your ethics when tested? If you are, this field needs you, not just your technical mind, but your humanity. Okay? In cybersecurity, we often say that humans are the weakest link, but I found the opposite is also true. It's our human qualities, our creativity, our empathy, our resilience that ultimately make us stronger than any technical system we build. If this resonated with you, please hit that subscribe button. I will also be leaving a video recommendation in the description below, alright? Please don't forget to check it out. Until we meet again, remember that your technical journey and your human journey are inseparable. The biggest security professionals nurture both. And in my usual manner, I hope I've been able to leave you today better than I met you. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.